Hello everyone, it is Ewan here. Doing something a little bit different today. I wanted to check out the Ragnok Gun mouse, which I've had for a little while now, but I've only really recently gotten around to actually making a video on it because life's been busy, and I didn't really know how to go about this video until recently. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a try. So yeah, here are my thoughts on the Ragnok Gun mouse. So here's the box. Well, it's got like another box like it comes in, which is like a sort of cover, where it gets like into all of the what each button does. Although I really should have like read that more, because I forget like one of the key buttons, which actually makes it easier for me to use this fucking thing. But yeah, as you can see, there's the pistol grip mouse. It comes with a sort of like hand rest sort of thing. I don't know what you would like describe that. And it just gives you like a little bit of a rest to like put your hand on whilst you're actually using the thing. That along with a USB dongle, because this thing is actually a Bluetooth mouse which you can use. But yeah, when I initially like started this and jumped into Aim Labs, I initially thought I would be a bit better on my first attempt, which, as you can see, that's just not happening like whatsoever. It is a tricky little thing to like get used to, and it's not until like my sort of second or third attempt where it sort of like gets a bit easier. Yeah, you can more see that I'm sort of averaging the 40% sort of aim accuracy. Yeah, so it's not really that good. To be honest, like if I didn't like have this practice, I'm probably not sure how I would have done like later on. But yeah, I do just a bit more background just before we move on a bit more. So I started off with Aim Labs, then I moved on to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, just because that's the most recent one at the time of me recording. Because Black Ops 6 isn't out just yet. Then I move on to, which is a bit of a strange probably decision, you might think, is War Thunder, doing plane combat. That's not a first person shooter, but I thought it'd be an interesting thing to try. And then I did, because I've been playing it a lot at the moment, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, which I'll give you my thoughts on each of them as the video progresses. But yeah, at this point, it's just more practicing, and I sort of discover in my second Aim Labs attempt that there's a DPI button, and when I realise this, it gets easier for me. My aim is still not perfect, but you can see that it's significantly getting like easier for me to aim at these things. But yeah, you'll probably see a bit more later, like how this sort of progresses. One thing that I will note, is that despite like this is supposed to be a mouse, I found myself getting uncomfortable whilst holding this. Like you'll see like at the very end of this clip that I do shake my hand because of how painful it is. But yeah. So then I moved on to Call of Duty, which to be honest I thought was going to be an absolute disaster. I did actually have a sort of pre-game before this, and everyone was just camping, and I did terribly, so I'm not including it here. I did include it at the start of like the video, which you probably saw. But yeah, I kind of like started off with using like akimbo SMGs, which I had from like a different pack, which I really like using. I just sort of thought maybe with Aim Labs, if I was like doing stuff from like hip firing, I would thought that this would be easier. To be honest, it was a bit mixed, the sort of feeling that I got from it. Just because, well, it's it's just two SMGs, and I surprisingly thought this was a bit more challenging. But I didn't do awfully. I thought it was actually a lot better than I expected. Shipment is a hard map, I don't know why I decided to choose shipment, but I thought maybe a more fast-paced, like, sort of mode would probably help. To be honest, I don't remember. But yeah, this was like coming at the end of it, and this was like mainly where it got good. But yeah, unfortunately we lost. So at this point this was like the third game I had. I instead of like having like akimbos, I went for I think this is an SMG. I cannot remember if I'm completely honest, but yeah, when I swapped to this is when things like really changed. Like I actually like did like a lot better than I thought I was going to. Like compared to like the akimbos where I was like having like kills like quite scarcely. This one, I just seemed to be on a bit of a roll. Well, it's not a completely perfect game. I think I got like the second or third most kills on the team. I didn't like come at the top of the leaderboard, but that's not really an issue. And I went positive. My KD was like pretty good, which I was quite surprised at, to be honest. Seeing as like it's like my fourth time using this thing, and I was quite surprised at like how well like I did do. I was honestly expecting it to sort of go like the akimbo ones where I would like suck ass, and considering this is Shipment, one of the most like chaotic maps that Activision have reused over the years, which can be very, very painful for anyone who has played the more recent Call of Duty games. This was just a big surprise, that's all I'll really say about it. And I had a lot of fun. Like, my only real gripe still is just like how it feels, but to be honest, I feel like that would be it would be person to person who would use this. Like, it just like felt like my hand was cramping up like a fair bit, which isn't like anybody's fault. Like, it's just like I'm pretty sure that this would like it was like it was designed to like be a pistol grip, and it probably does like suit a lot of people like very well. But yeah, I was like, that was like really my only issue. Like, apart from like having to get used to it, but that's probably the part and parcel of like using a different device for gaming. But yeah, I did want to like do more games, but I thought like 3 would be enough. Besides, I did like toy around with the idea of like giving this a try, like Star Wars Squadrons, but I thought that would be utter chaos. Like, as much as this already was. And besides, I got like some other flying thing in this game, in this video anyway. So yeah, I'll move over to the next game, which will be War Thunder. Now, I'll be honest, when I like hopped on War Thunder to do this video, I initially thought this would be the hardest out of the 3 games that I picked. I was quite surprised in the fact that it wasn't. And I'll get to like like which one was the hardest. But no, surprisingly this wasn't so bad. Like, I haven't played like War Thunder in like over a year now. I couldn't like say for definite like how long it's been, but it has been like 1 or 2 years or something like that where I've like booted up the game and actually like gone into a game. But I had a lot of fun. Like, this was like a really fun like sort of experiment, like to see if I could like do like okay on this with like this controller, and I ended up having a lot of fun, and it's kind of like sparked like an interest to actually play this game again. So if War Thunder is something you'd like to see, let me know. But yeah, I honestly thought when loading this up this would be very difficult, and I probably would have a bit of a painful time actually getting anything or anywhere. But no, it was actually pretty good, and the actual aiming aspect of it wasn't like so bad either. Like, cause if you've never played War Thunder like before. I keep on almost saying Warframe, it's really distracting. If you've never played War Thunder before, like when you're like doing plane combat, you have to aim for like the little circle, which is just like where they're going, and where if you aim at that point, that's where the bullets will land and most likely hit the target. I usually struggle with that on mouse, but with the like this thing, like it surprisingly was like fairly easy to like get a handle on it. I know it's like probably like a weird thing, but I probably thought it was like easier playing like this than I would on an actual mouse. The reason I really wanted to do this, like, I just because the pistol grip probably like reminded me more of like sort of like fighter pilot like sort of control joysticks, and in my mind I thought this would be the perfect fit. It probably makes no sense like whatsoever, but it made sense to me, so I gave it a try, and I'm glad I did. This was a lot of fun, and it actually like inspired me to play a game which I'd long abandoned, given like how tricky it was, because I initially stopped because it was a difficult game and I wasn't like improving like whatsoever, and everyone was just getting so much better, so I initially dropped it and never picked it up. But for this I decided to give it a try again, and it was really fun. But yeah, as well, I felt like I could like relax my hand a bit more, although the actual like game itself requires a bit more of the mouse wheel, which is on the side of this mouse. So it was quite interesting to get more like out of it like this time around. So yeah, it was quite good experimenting with this as well. Unfortunately, we didn't end up winning this game, but to be honest, I had an absolute blast, so it doesn't really even matter. I even like had a couple of like laughs because in the like last game, I was just I was just like shooting at someone, and like I knew like as we were both like charging towards each other where it was gonna go, until we collided with each other, and I just ended up laughing so much. And I kind of like had a similar moment like before, where someone like shot my pilot and he died, but my plane ended up crashing into his. You might have like seen it in like the clip just before, but I just thought like that was really class. And yeah, there's not really much more to say on this, to be honest. Like, it was a good like little experiment for War Thunder, and I think it like improved like my sort of experience with it. Maybe like if I like come back to like War Thunder like properly, I will like do more like with the actual controller itself, or mouse, sorry. But yeah, I think for now, like I'll probably just focus if I do start playing again, just actually getting better at the actual controls and getting the feel of it down again. But yeah, there's not really much more to say, so I'll just move on to the last game, which is I'll just let the commentary like speak for itself. When well, not commentary, the actual gameplay of Space Marine 2. I'll just like let it show for itself like how hard it was to actually play that game whilst using this. So here we are in Space Marine 2, and I thought I'd like cut to the bits which caused me the most problems. You can probably guess why this bit was a challenge for me. This is like the first operation and it's on normal difficulty. I won't pull it solely on the controller because I don't play Assault on this. I mainly play Bulwark, which someone has already taken. And I'd like to point out that we have someone called Huel Babino on our team. So, I guess Huel was very happy at this point. Or reasonably at least. But who knows. But yeah, this is like the game like I had the most trouble with. And it probably was my fault for like maybe assuming that this game would probably be pretty good for it. Because it does say first-person shooters that this game suits. And this is not a first-person shooter. It's a third-person, like, like, I don't know what you describe it as. It is a third-person shooter, but mainly a slasher, really, because you're mostly using melee weapons. But I did give it my best, and this is probably the one where my fucking hand cramped the most. So on top of, like, a class I don't play as, with a controller I have only started using, with a lot of button mashing, and I'm in pain, so that doesn't really help all that much. I think you sort of get the idea at this point, like this, that this game probably like wasn't like the best idea, and also you can see me shaking, like the camera shaking like a fair amount. That's really because like my hand is quite shaky in general, and the fact that it's also combined like in like pain, and I had to contend with like so much button mashing. Like that's why the camera like shakes quite a bit. Honestly, like I wish I hadn't like chosen this game, but I thought it'd be like a nice challenge. I suppose really at this point there's not really much else to really say about the controller. I'll probably just speak like for the rest of it, and just like have like clips of me like showing it off at this point. I think it's a nice like little like mouse that has been made, and I can see like why a lot of people would use it. Do I think it would like replace like like for myself or for others like using this as like a full-time mouse? I to be honest, I don't think so. I think like it'd be nice to use like every now and again for like FPS games to see how it would work, but I don't really see this like ever replacing it. And as well, like I'd probably like only like save this like if I was to do War Thunder again, or maybe if I want to give myself a challenge on a game or something like that. Like, because initially it kind of like popped into my head because my friend David, he did a video a while back where he got a win on Apex with a graphics tablet, and I was like sort of thinking of trying to do the same with this, but things just sort of fell apart, and I haven't really had the interest to go back to Apex in a long time, so that idea is probably going to be on hold for a long time. But yeah, I think for other like challenges and stuff, this could be like viable, but in like the sort of short term, I think like it'll just be a now and again thing. But yeah, overall, I really like the thing. It's an interesting mouse, and this was a really fun experiment to try out, and I'm really satisfied with like what the results were. Like, it was silly but a lot of fun, and I think like the more positive thing about it was that it worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. This isn't a sponsored video, by the way. I'm not sponsored to say any of this. But if you would like to pick up your own Ragnok controller, I'll leave a link to the newest one that's in the description, because I think I've got the older model. It's a bit different now, and it's like, well, in the UK it's like £50. If you'd like something like this for yourself, go ahead and pick it up. Whereas I'll probably stick to my loyal mouse for now. It does me very well. But yeah, probably just let the rest of the gameplay like play out, to be honest. There's not really much else for me to say. If you'd like to see more of this like sort of mouse like being used, let me know. And if there's a specific game you'd actually want me to try this out with, again, just let me know and I can give it a try. You'd hear me like rage or something with it. But yeah, for now, I'll just let the rest of like the therapeutic and very calming game of Space Marine 2 speak for itself. But yeah, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Halfway there, brothers. What need? The Xenos are after us. Replenishing firepower. You want to get up here, you bastards? Careful what you wish for. The enemy are upon us. Reach the place. The swarm has almost fully committed. Be ready for my mark. You are clear to detonate. Cook those rotten bastards.
Let us spark the flames of vengeance.
Just open up and get your peace. Lieutenant Bioscience down 90% and fallen. Swarm annihilation confirmed. Excellent work. Move to extract. Thunderhawk arriving at evac point. Ramp down and ready.